Hey boys and girls, and welcome to another ELA lesson. Today we are going to go over some sight words. We're going to review some stuff with contractions. I have some sentences on the boards behind me. We're going to read a really fun poem in Where the Sidewalk Ends and talk about some of those sensory words, but also emotion words. So how do things make us actually feel? So the inside, how does it make us feel? And then we're also going to give a brief little summary. And we're also going to talk about personal narratives again and the difference between personal narratives and fictional narratives. That's just a brief overview of what we're going to do. What is this word? Hi, great job. I had to reach high on the shelf for the books. What's this word? Must. Great job. I must do my homework every night. Must. What is this word? Self. Good. I like to be by myself. Self. What's this word? Again, right. I did not solve the problem correctly the first time, so I had to do it again. Okay, great job. Those are our sight words. All right. I have some sentences on the board. And what I would like us to do is I would like us to find the words. Sorry, grabbing a marker. I would like us to find the words that we're going to turn into contractions. So let's lurk. Let's look at this first sentence right here. They said they will feed the pigs at 5. Now we know that some words that have contractions are will, is, not, and am. So some words that have contractions that we make into the contractions are will, is, so we have will, is, not, and am. So in this first sentence that we have here, in sentence number 1, do we have, they said they will feed the pigs at 5. So do we have any of those words up there that can be turned into a contraction? That's right, we have the word will. So that means that we're going to take they and will and mush it into a contraction. So if I had they and will, and I put will just a little bit closer, okay, I could take the WI out, pop my apostrophe in there. It'll have the same meaning. They said they will feed the pigs at 5. They said they'll feed the pigs at 5. Okay, same thing. Okay, let's try the second one. Okay, number 2. Now remember our contractions are will, is, not, and am. She has not signed up to help at the fair yet. That's right, the word not. So we're going to pop not and push them together with has. She has not signed up to help at the fair yet. She has not signed up to help at the fair yet. She, power apostrophe, pops in here. She hasn't signed up to help at the fair yet. Okay? Same meaning. She has not, she hasn't. And the last one, number 3. Our contraction words are will, is, not, and am. What is your name? Is, that's right. So if I smushed is into what is, same meaning. What is your name? Put my apostrophe in there. What's your name? Same meaning. They said they'll feed the pigs at 5. She hasn't signed up to help at the fair yet. What's your name? Okay. That was just a quick review of some of those contractions. Now, we are going to, let me go ahead and, okay. We're going to read a poem, and we are going to talk about different words in the poem that appeal to our senses. Okay? Words that appeal to our senses. We're also going to talk about words that appeal to our feelings. Think about emotions. Okay? And we are also going to talk about what is a good way to summarize, or basically like retell the poem. That's basically the same thing. So senses, feelings, and summary. Okay, so I'm going to read the poem first, and then we can talk about those senses. If you would like to, you can write down some words as we go. That might help. If the world was crazy. If the world was crazy, you know what I'd eat? A big slice of soup and a whole quart of meat. A lemonade sandwich. And then I might try some roasted ice cream or a bicycle pie. A nice notebook salad, an underwear roast, an omelet of hats and some crisp cardboard toast. A thick malted milk made from pencils and daisies. And that's what I'd eat if the whole world was crazy. If the world was crazy, you know what I'd wear? A chocolate suit and a tie of eclair. Some marshmallow earmuffs, some licorice shoes. And I'd read a paper of peppermint news. I'd call the boys Susie and I'd call the girls Harry. I'd talk through my years and I always would carry a paper umbrella for when it grew hazy to keep in the rain if the world was crazy. If the world was crazy, you know what I'd do? I'd walk on the ocean and swim in my shoe. I'd fly through the ground and I'd skip through the air. I'd run down the bathtub and bathe on the stair. When I met somebody, I'd say, "Goodbye, Joe." And when I was leaving, then I'd say hello. And the greatest men would be silly and lazy. So I would be king if the world was crazy. So, thinking about some words that appeal to senses. So they said that they would eat a big slice of soup, a whole quart of meat, a lemonade sandwich, and then I might try some roasted ice cream or a bicycle pie. So some of those words could go with senses. We could talk about that they would eat. They would taste the slice of soup. Okay. The touch, they had marshmallow earmuffs. You know, that kind of sounds nice. I know like they would keep your ears warm, but if you got hungry, you could just snack on them. Marshmallow earmuffs. Okay. They would skip through the air. They would fly through the ground. Fly through the ground. Okay. Some feelings, crazy, right? Lazy. Okay. Some other feelings that I'd have is, you know, maybe not even just walk on the ocean, swim in a shoe. They would say, they did the opposites, right? So they would say goodbye for hello and hello for goodbye. They switched the two. Okay. And then just a quick summary that I could give of this is that the world is crazy. Or if the world, I should say if the world was crazy. Hold on, let me change that. If the world was crazy, you know, I would eat where, and do crazy and silly things. So I'd eat silly things, I would wear crazy things, and I would do silly and crazy things. And that's a real quick summary. If the world was crazy, I would eat, wear, and do crazy and silly things. Super simple. So the poem you're going to read is called Sick, okay? And it has a little bit more of the senses, the feelings, and then just summarize the poem for me. So you just tell me what the poem was mostly about. If the world was crazy, I would eat, wear, and do crazy and silly things. Super simple. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Okay, the last piece I want to go over with you is our personal narrative stuff. So let me grab. Okay. Can y'all see this? Okay. So for our personal narrative, it is when the author writes, okay, about a sequenced event or experience in his or her life. So you're writing about an event that occurred in your life. A fictional narrative would be like, once upon a time, a purple dragon fell in love with a pink unicorn, okay? So it's a fictional story, it's a made-up story, okay, about events. So you sequence events, but it's a made-up story. This is really about you, a personal narrative. It always tells, okay, personal and fictional, always tells who, what, where, when, or who, what, when, where, and how of the events. You need 3 parts. You need an introduction. How can you hook the reader? How can you grab their attention? You need events and details, okay? What happens first, next, then, and last. And then you need a closure, okay? Now, for your activity today, okay, Mrs. Cooper wrote a personal narrative about a time I went on a field trip, okay? And I gave an introduction, a clever introduction. I told you what the big event was. I gave you a first, next, and last, and a conclusion. I want you to put them in order. So you're going to do the introduction, the event, first, next, last, and then the closure. Okay, so you'll actually see this on your CESA activity where I'll have the title up here. I'll have text boxes on the side. You will see an introduction. You will see something I wrote, a big event. It's not all going to be in order. You're going to use the hand tool to move it to the correct spot where it goes. Okay, so that is what we're going to do today. We're going to do just like an example of how to write one. Alrighty, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.